Hello, my name is Donna Ellis. I'm the creator of the Active Rest Fitness Program and Lifestyle. And today's message from the deck is more for those of you who are looking to start a business, whether it's a fitness business or some type of other business, and you're feeling stagnant, you're feeling fearful, you're scared to get started, or you're feeling overwhelmed and you just keep ruminating over and over in your mind about what you need to do to get started, what steps you need to take. I want to offer you some advice and tips, in the hopes that we can get you unstuck and get you going on starting that business or achieving whatever goal it is that you're trying to reach. So first, let me just tell you a little bit about our program. With the Active Rest Fitness Program, what I do here is I try to I help you get active for 30 minutes a day by providing workouts that fit any schedule and eliminate most of your excuses. A lot of those workouts can be found online here on my YouTube channel, or you can meet me in person on the deck or virtually via Zoom. I also help you prioritize rest and restorative sleep. I help you practice mindfulness in your eating habits as well as in your physical abilities. And I also encourage you to build a community of support amongst your family members, neighbors, and friends. If these topics sound good to you, I ask that you please subscribe to this channel, hit the like button on this video, share the video if you know someone, if it's not particularly you who are trying to start a business and get unstuck, if you know someone who is trying to get started, send them this video and hopefully we can help them get on their way. All right, so I have about 5 tips that I want to just share with you, some things that I've experienced, some things that I've gone through that, kind of help me as I navigate running Active Rest, because in order to run it I had to start it. So some of these things that you are feeling now, of course I've felt, and of course I feel now as I look at ways to expand Active Rest even more. So for the first thing to get started, I want to say, do it afraid. We're all scared, right? We're all scared of, the outcome, right? Scared of failing. We're scared of what other people may think. I just want to say, I listen to this lady, Stephanie Perry, on YouTube all the time. What she says is you have to take fear and put it in the passenger seat. A lot of people think that they have to get over the fear, they think that they have to overcome the fear in order to get started. And she said, no, pack that fear right up with you, put it in the passenger seat, and let it ride along with you. Because if you wait until you're not scared, you're never going to do it, right? You're going to keep finding excuses and you're going to keep stalling. So like I said before, 2 of the things that I find most often that people fear, and especially it was the case like in my point, is I'll start with the first one, the fear of what other people think, or the fear of what other people might say. I know that when I started Active Rest, I didn't tell anybody that I was actually going to create a business out of it. And when I went to go get certified for extreme hip hop step aerobics, I only told 3 people initially that I was even considering it. And so I told my husband, because I was going to be traveling, I was going to be out of town. So I told him what, I was going to be doing. And then I told my sister, and I don't even think I specifically told her what it was. I just said training. And so I told my sister because I needed a babysitter. So she was going to, serve as my babysitter. So of course I told her, and then I told my friend, and I told my friend because I had booked a room. I was going to go either way, and I said, well, maybe she want to get away and have a little day trip, go on a little girls trip. I knew that when I was in the class for the certification, I knew that she could navigate the city pretty well, and she could get out and about, and then afterwards we'd just spend the day together and spend some time together, since I had already booked the room and things like that. So I told those 3 people. I was scared to tell anybody else just in case I didn't follow through with it or it didn't go well. But as you can see, 4 years later, it went extremely well. So, it's the fear of what other people will think, other people will say. And, you just have to fight that. You got to get through that. You got to get over that. You got to know that it's for you, that you have this purpose, that you have this desire, and you got to go for it. Because if you don't go for it, you'll never know if you'll be successful at it, right? And so that's the other thing. That's the second thing, the fear of failure. And we're scared that it won't work out. We're scared that our idea is stupid. Nobody's going to support it. And that might happen, right? But but you'll never know if you don't try it. And the thing about like for me with Active Rest is I'm always trying to find ways to pivot, just in case one thing doesn't work out. I have something to fall back on. So like with Active Rest, for instance, the fitness program is going very well. People are coming to the class, they're participating. Where to me, it's steady. It's steady work. But I also had to pivot, and just in case people stop coming to the deck, right? I need to be able to say, like, hey, if I'm not getting folks, coming and participating in a fitness program, or leaving to join other fitness programs, whatever the case may be, I need to have some other not sources of income necessarily, but I need to be able to pivot, right? So what I do now is I've started, I had to start, I didn't almost say I had to. That's not the right word. What I did was I started taking opportunities to teach beyond the deck and host events outside of, just here, because this is my comfort zone. This deck back here, this is where I feel the most comfortable. It is literally my home. This is where I run my fitness program. You saw a bee just fly by me, or a wasp or something. But this is literally where I feel the most, this is my home. It's where I feel the most comfortable. When I finish the workout, I could just go right in. My family is right here. They're very supportive of what we're doing. I don't have to travel. I don't have to go anywhere, during the week. I'm right here at my house. But I had to get comfortable going off and doing, just some other things. I had to get rid of that fear and step away from the deck. And I also, another thing that I did was I accepted a speaking engagement. That's another way, that I, kind of just want to pivot and do some other things. I was able to, from one of the speaking engagements, I was able to create a course, a business course that also made me, that also makes me money. So those are just a couple of things. Now, that business course, I haven't publicized it in a while. I might come back on here later on and talk a little bit more about that, just in case you're, wanting to start that business and you just need some ideas. You want to learn from my mistakes and hear some extra tips and things like that. I could give you those. So that's the first thing. You gotta, don't worry about, what other people are going to think about it. This is your heart's desire. You got to try it. And you got to be afraid, you got to get rid of that fear of failure, because you're definitely going to fail if you never try it. Like, that's the failure in itself. So, you at least need to say, I tried it, it didn't work out. But also, when developing your business, just think of ways in which it can pivot and turn into something else, just in case it doesn't work out exactly the way that you planned. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, what you know, right? So I ran into somebody recently who asked me if I was scared to start the fitness program. I had not seen him in years. We used to work out at the Y together, and he had moved away, and then he came back, and I just hadn't seen him. And so he asked me, and he was interested in being a certified personal trainer. Like, that's something he's been interested in. And so he asked me, he said, were you scared to start? And I said, no. I said, I know how to work out. Like, okay, I'm a 20-year military vet. I've been working out for at least that long, right? I've conducted workouts in the military. I've had to stand in front of formations and conduct a workout. Even at the gym, I was one of the people, I was on the front row. So, and I would listen and take heed to what the instructor was saying. So even a lot of the stuff that I do here, it is coming from what I heard from my gym instructor. Like, sometimes I'm saying some of the same things, exact same things that she would say. So I know what I know. And so in the state of Mississippi, and you'll have to check your state if you're not in Mississippi, you don't need to be a certified fitness instructor to run a fitness program, to teach, but that's something that I wanted. So I accomplished that last year, but I didn't have it for the first 3 years about of running this program. I just know what I know. And so from my experience in the past of working out, making sure that I'm paying attention to what my instructors say, and also from my military experience, I knew how to conduct workouts, and I knew how to conduct them safely. And so that's one of the things I'm very proud of here. So, you know what you know. Sometimes we're waiting to go to school, to get an extra degree, to get an extra certification. And, that's not what you need to get started. I'm not saying that you don't need it ever, or that you should not consider getting it at all. I'm just saying that in order to get started, that's not something that you need. You're stalling if you're telling yourself that you're waiting to finish school. Now, like, for instance, nursing. you're going to need to go to school to be a nurse. Don't just be out there nursing on nobody, without going to school and, and getting degrees and certifications, whatever you need, state board licensure. Don't be out there doing that cosmetology. Well, now with braiding, doing hair, a lot of people ain't going to cosmetology school to do that. They doing it right in the kitchen because they know what they know. They have some type of experience doing it, and people are paying them. I'm not saying break the law if you're supposed to get your certification, get your licensure, get boarded, do that. Make sure you do that. But a lot of things you could go ahead and start doing because of your educational background. For instance, I'm a tutor as well. Like, as well as a fitness instructor, I'm a tutor because I'm good at math. That's all it takes for me to tutor fifth graders, is that I'm 45 years old, and I've always been good at math. So I can tutor fourth graders. I can tutor fifth graders, and I tell people, now you start getting up past college algebra, that's where you lost me. You start talking about calculus, and I've taken calculus, but that's not my wheelhouse. That's some stuff I've probably forgotten. I know a little bit of it, but I've forgotten probably more than I remember. So, but I know what I know. I know algebra. I can help some high school algebra students. I can help some college students in quantitative reasoning and in college algebra. I can help a fifth grader with fractions. So I don't need to be a teacher. I don't need to be certified in order to tutor and help those kids learn that, because I have a knack for teaching it and helping students learn it, and I just know how to do it. Like, one of my biggest compliments as a tutor was one of the parents reached out to me. It was storming, and she was asking me if we're in different school districts. And she was asking me if we were in school, if our school district was having school, because some of the schools were shutting down. And I was like, they haven't put out anything. They just said they're monitoring the weather. And the way she was asking me the questions, it dawned on me that she thought I was a teacher in that school district. And I texted her back and said, hey, I believe you think I'm a teacher. I'm not. I have like another separate full-time job. And she just laughed. She sent me like some laughing emojis. She said, yes, she thought I was a teacher because I'm that good of a tutor, that she thought I was a teacher. So you know what you know, and you don't need any certifications unless the law requires it in order to get started with your business. All right. So the third thing is, I put up there, I have my notes up on the board. That's what I'm looking off. You have what someone else is looking for. You have what someone else wants, knowledge wise, right? So you might know how to do taxes. You might know how to, one of the best examples I have, because I now have two people in my life who have started doing like floral arrangements and decorating and things like that. I don't know nothing about putting flowers together in a vase. Nothing at all. So if I need somebody to do that, or if someone I know needs someone to do that, I say, hey, call them. Check them out, because I know nothing about it, right? So you have what someone else wants. Let me tell you, I met recently a lady, or talked to a lady recently. She was a vendor at a farmer's market that I was at. She, we were asking her about her business. She said she owns, and I'm gonna tell you, you can go follow it on Facebook, Your Pooper Scooper. You are Pooper Scooper. Her family has created a business of going to people's houses once a week, or however much however often they're contracted to do it, and clean up the pet poop, the dog poop in the yard. That's what they do for a living. Some people don't want to do that. Some folks love their dog. They don't want to pick up the poop out of the yard behind them. So they contact these people. They work out a plan for them to come once a week or however much and clean up the poop, the doggy poop, out of the yard. You have what someone else wants. It is in your possession. So, so that's what I'm just saying. As far as it falls under that, what you know. Whatever it is, you have a gift. If you're looking to start like an entrepreneurship, style life, and you're trying to get into that, you have what somebody wants. You just have to hone in on what that is. You got to figure that out or whatever. If somebody can say, I'm gonna be a pooper scooper and come and do this for you at your, trust me, you have a gift, you have a talent that someone else can use. Floral arrangements, like I said, I can't do that. Decorating, I can't do that. I have to hire somebody to do that for me, right? So just try to find your gift, try to find your talent. Mine has always been fitness. Um, from, I would say, since about 2011, I've always tried to encourage people to work out. And so this is just something that's natural for me. All right. So, number four, I heard, okay, I told you earlier that I listened to Stephanie Perry quite a bit. So one time she had her mother on her YouTube channel on one of her lives, and her mom said she was talking about visiting Mexico and Mexico having these beautiful doors. But when you might think, or maybe not even beautiful doors, but there's a door and you don't know what's behind it. And when you look behind it, there's something beautiful. But you have to explore what's behind that door in order to get to it. And so that's the fourth thing that I want to say. That's coming from Connie Perry, Stephanie Perry's mom. What's behind that door? I know for me, and this kind of leads into like that fearful thing. I was reaching out to people, trying to work with them to get in their facilities, to offer some classes, just trying to build some collaborations, build some relationships, offer them something different than they are all, already performing in their either gym or their locations or their venue. And, there was an and then I decided, I was just talking to someone and we were talking, and I asked them, how much does it cost to, rent this facility? And I'm running a fitness program and I just want to expand a little bit. And they said, we're actually looking for someone, to kind of partner with and bring some fitness, to this location. And I was like, okay, so we, worked out some stuff and talked about it. And she called me and I said, well, just let me know your availability, because they were busy. And so she called me and said, we're available next week. And I was going to, I was not going to do that, because I was like, a week, I'm a preparer. Like, I'm a person, I like to plan. And so I was like, in a week, I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that. And so, but I don't know if it's the voice of God, but something spoke to me and said, just do it, just try it. Basically see what's behind that door. If it's successful, then you can do it. If it's not, then it's whatever. You haven't lost anything if it doesn't work out. And so I did it, and I was at capacity. And so we actually sold out, that event. And so I was very proud of me. And that was something that I was scared to do. Like, when she called and provided me with the opportunity, I was like, I don't know. I had to think about it. I had to pray about it. And it was just see what's there. Just see what's behind that door. So sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to, like I said, put that fear in the car seat and in the seat belt, in the passenger seat. And you got to go and open that door. See what's behind it. It could lead to something extremely beautiful, but you'll never know if you don't open the door, right? And so then the last thing, when it comes to business and collaborations and networking and doing a lot of things, I want to advise you to allow your spirit, allow your intuition to lead you. Make sure that there are things that are in alignment with your beliefs, okay? So if I mentioned earlier that I have a video, a business workshop video that I put together about how to build a business or whatever. Just my advice, my tips, my experience, based off my experience. All right. And so part of that was making sure that you create a clear objective for your business. So with Active Rest, I opened the video with our 4 tenets to help you get active, to help you prioritize rest and restore to sleep, to help you practice mindfulness in your eating habits and your physical abilities, as well as to help you build a community of support. Those are the 4 things that we do here at Active Rest. And so all of those things, whenever I decide to collaborate or work with somebody or go into a new venture, I try to make sure that it is aligned with my core tenets of Active Rest. Also, I have just certain principles. Like, I'm sitting outdoors. Y'all know we work out outside most of the time for the main fitness program. We're outside. Where we started out outside because of the COVID shutdown, right? A lot of the gyms had to shut down, so we got outside and worked out because we wanted to keep working out. Well, during the COVID shutdown, I had read an article about a gym. You know, a lot of people were catching COVID, like going into the gym, going into the church, all these closed spaces with a lot of people breathing hard in the gym or singing loud in the church. And that's how it was spreading initially. So I read an article at the beginning of COVID about a gym, I want to say it was in Virginia, that became almost like an open air gym. They opened up like their garage doors, things like that. And they had, if none, they had minimal cases of COVID. Okay, so that was the first thing. And then I want to say in New York, there's Epic Gym. I hope I'm calling it the right thing. There's Epic Gym. It is an outdoor gym. All right, it is an open air gym. And so, you know, so that became a thing. And so for me, I think working out outside, you know, I think it's healthier for you. I think it's better for you. I think, you know, the sunlight, the vitamin D, it's a mood booster for me at least. And I just think, you know, when we go through flu season, cold season, COVID, when we were going through COVID, I can firmly say that nobody got sick from working out with me because we were outside the whole time. And so, so that was one of the things that was very important to me. I was very COVID paranoid. So, you know, a lot of the stuff when we went out to eat, we sat outside. I still do that. And I did that before COVID, but that was, you know, a main thing for me. Do you have outdoor seating when we would go out to eat or things like that? So I was offered an opportunity to work at a facility here locally, but at the time they did not have any COVID protocols in place, right? So I could not accept that position because I had to come home, you know, to my daughter, to my husband. You know, I have she's 5 years old. Oh, excuse me. She's 5 years old now, but she was a kid then. And so I just could not, it was a great opportunity, but I couldn't accept it because there were no COVID protocols in place. And that was something that was very important to me. So even in that, make up your, you know, get your objectives for what you want your business to look like and what you want your business to do, and stay true to that. But also, if you have any other, like, just personal principles, things that are important to you, you know, make sure that that's also in alignment. That's also when it comes to working with certain people. You know, make sure you know who you're aligning yourself with. I have been fortunate enough that the people that have contacted me to work with me have been people that I could learn from, people who just kind of took me in, shared their knowledge with me, just good people overall. So I've been fortunate in that way. And also too, I don't search out to work with a lot of different people. Okay. I just kind of let the spirit move me. I don't chase opportunities, I guess is the thing. So and my business could probably be more successful if I did that, but I feel like I would be more stressed also if I did that. And so for me, we're all about that rest part. And we're about being active, but we also want the rest to reside in us as well. So if I'm out running around chasing, you know, just trying to make opportunities happen instead of just sitting and waiting and resting and letting those opportunities come to me, letting, you know, letting God lead those people to me, you know, trusting my spirit, trusting my gut when it comes to working with certain people. That's not restful for me. That's extremely stressful, and I want to be restful. I tell people, people tend to say they're booked and busy. You know, they take pride in booked and busy. Well, my thing is I want to be successful and restful. So those are my goals. I do want the success, but I don't want it to come I don't want to have to trade in my health, my mental health, my physical health in order to get it. So make sure that any opportunities that come your way, that they are aligned with your spirit and with your intuition. I'm a very intuitive person. If something don't feel right to me, I don't do it. Like if I get one bad feeling and I'm like, nope, this ain't gonna work, you know. So don't worry about chasing a dollar. Don't worry about doing that, you know. Just work on your craft, work on your gift, work on your talents, and everything will come to you. Whatever's meant for you will come to you. I promise you that. All right. So let's kind of run through those 5 things again. First thing, do it afraid. Put fear in the passenger seat, strap it in, put it in the seatbelt, and take it along with you. Don't worry about what other people are saying or what they'll think. And also, don't fear failure. Just try to, pivot and manipulate ways in which you can take that business idea and make it successful for you. All right. Number two, you know what you know. All right. You don't need any advanced degrees in most cases, like I said, lawfully. You know what you know. You don't need anything extra to get started, at least. Go ahead, start that business. Look up your state laws and see what permits are required, what certificates are required, what licensure is required. And if there are none, go ahead and get your business started, okay? Or get what you need in order to start your business. If you do need those things, go ahead and work towards it, get started. But you know what you know. You have the information. That leads me to the next thing. You have what someone wants. Remember that you have a gift, you have a talent. If it's in you to start a business doing a thing, you know that there's somebody out there who either needs or wants what you have to offer. Go ahead and rest in that, and have faith in that you have what someone else wants, whether that's community, whether that's a quicker way to do something, whether that's an easier way to do something, convenience. People want that. So go ahead and work towards starting that business. The other thing, what's behind that door, right? Go ahead and seek out what's behind that door. Don't be afraid. Don't be fearful. Open that door and just see what's back there. It could be something beautiful. For me, anything that, for me in my business, I always think that things that I feel like didn't work out well for me, I take those as lessons in how to move forward. So they're not a complete loss, right? So it's just, okay, this is how I need to move the next go round, or this doesn't work for my business at all. So I need to, I put that down, maybe pick it up again another time when it's more, successful. All right. And so just, make sure you go and check out what's behind that door. Don't leave it closed. Open every door you can. And then the fifth one, trust your intuition, trust your spirit, right? When something doesn't feel right, don't go for it. If something is not in alignment with what you want for your business or for yourself or for your family, don't try to chase it. Let all the good things come to you. Just pray about it if that's what you do. If that's what you believe in, meditate over it, think over it, write out a plan, do your pros and cons list. A lot of people like to do that, and see if it's something that will benefit you. Make sure that it benefits you health wise, something that's not going to stress you out. Make sure mentally, make sure that it's going to benefit you mentally, physically. We don't want to be out here stressed out. Again, at least for me, I'm not trying to be booked and busy. I am trying to be successful and restful. All right. So I hope this message helps you, especially if you're trying to get started with a business. If you've got some ideas, just, drop it in the comments. Tell us what you're thinking about. Let's see if there's someone out there who might need what you have. You never know. All right. I know with my friends, I just started posting things that they do. My friend, she decorated this deck for a tea party. And then people started calling her to decorate other things, contacting her to decorate other things. I have a friend who, makes pound cakes. I said, this is the best pound cake I've ever had in my life. And so people started, she started her business, making pound cakes, and, people buy pound cakes from her. Another lady came and showed me the other day a floral arrangement, pictures of a floral arrangement that she had done. And I said, go ahead and start your Facebook page. Go on and start your business page. And we were at our unit. We had drill. And she right then started working on her Facebook page. I was like, that's a beautiful thing beautiful gift that you have. Go ahead and get started if it's something that you want to do. So I know she enjoys plants and flowers and things like that. So go ahead, start that business page. She created it right while we were sitting there. So, and support other people. That's the other thing right there. You got a business, an idea. Make sure that you're also supporting other people in their business ideas as well. So I hope this helps. Like I said, drop it in the comments. Let us know what you're working on, what you want to get started. Let me know if it helps. Drop that in the comments. Let me know if you found this to be good advice, or if there's anything that you disagree with. Respectfully, let me know what that might be. All right. Other than that, again, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, that you like this video. Also, go and scroll through and find some workout videos. Get active, and subscribe, share, like and do the workout, and also with that get started. I hope that you all are encouraged, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.